TheOAMNetwork.com.
Power to the podcast.
Dear Millennials, the Lit Ass Podcast!
Litty.
Yeah.
Fuck you mean.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dear Millennials, the Lit Ass Podcast 3P episode.
3P.
With 3 in. Shout out to Memphis, Chicago Stand Up, Atlanta Stand Up, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Orlando, Miami, Baltimore, Long Island, New York City, Philly, Milwaukee, Nashville, DC, Delaware, Houston, Dallas, even Ireland and Germany. We got listeners all over. Shout out to y'all, man.
Boy.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for listening and tuning in. Make sure you follow Dear Millennials, the Lit Ass Podcast on Facebook. Just search Dear Millennials. Instagram at Dear Millennials _. Twitter at Dear Millennials Pod. YouTube, Dear Millennials Podcast. Also, you all asked for it. We brought it to you. You can search Dear Millennials on Apple, SoundCloud, Spotify.
Yes.
All right, and for booking, sponsorship, donations, any other inquiries, make sure you email us at dearmillennialspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
How y'all feeling today? Y'all feeling good?
I'm feeling lit.
Great.
Fuck you, man.
Why we always on the
Bro,
same
we
level?
We are here. Shout out to
Going
my
out the
twin, Mary
bathroom
Jane.
together.
Hey, don't say it like that.
Looking at yo, we're in for such a great episode. Today's show is entitled, Is There a Thin Line Between Gay and Straight?
Oh, yes.
All right, so y'all, we're going in today. Disclaimer, this is not an attack on any specific group. It's just a conversation, y'all. Sometimes we got to be uncomfortable. We got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable and having these conversations.
Yes.
So with that being said, I am Marvin Frank, singer, songwriter, educator, student to the game, homie, lover, friend. And my boy to my right of me.
South Memphis stand up, you know what I'm saying? It's your boy McLovin, got these chicks hot straight out the oven. Educator, motivator, dark skin, drinking hand, teacher, preacher, got you dying laughing, call me the Grim Reaper. Ooh.
Grim Reaper.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, and to his left, he has Mary Jane, Georgia raised Memphis paid, book club creator, the woman storyteller, Taylor, and your favorite around the way girl.
All right. And your one and only, your girl, OPP, a.k.a. South Memphis Queen, also known as the Memphis Finest.
And together we are Dear Millennials, the Lit Ass Podcast.
Lit.
Yeah, we have a very special guest with us, ladies and gentlemen. We have my boy Daniel Thompson, who is the host of I'm Just Sayin Podcast. Give a round of applause for Daniel Thompson joining us. What's up, Daniel? How you feeling, guys?
What's going on, guys? This is Daniel Thompson, your favorite Pisces, your local public health champion, and your best resident of the local Cordova, Tennessee.
I bet this music be loud as hell.
So,
Okay,
Dan,
cousin.
thank you so much. Oh, yeah, y'all got the same y'all don't know Mary Jane.
That's my long lost cousin over there.
Yeah,
It is. Okay.
That's what's
y'all
up.
look alike.
Right. Looking at it. I was like, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you already know how we get it rocking. We going straight into the 10 DM commandments.
Yes.
All right, so let's get started. We are always going to say, thou shall not what?
Support Trump. Hell no.
Get this
You mean.
ass out. All right. Thou shall Spike Lee your Oscar moment.
Yes.
Thou shall not have receipts of getting head from a masseuse. Where we get that from?
The Patriots owner.
Patriots
Hell
owner.
yeah. Don't do
Come
that
on.
shit.
Yeah, you too rich for that. Thou shall Kanye 04 college dropout.
Ooh,
Yes.
hey, I know y'all saw that post. Yandi vibes.
Yes.
Kanye was in
I'm trying to go to
Wakanda.
church with Kanye. I want all the Yeezys.
Kanye is still cancer.
First of all,
He's cancer.
Kanye
He's
is.
cancer. I'm sorry. he's
Shout out to
still cancer.
Kanye 04 till 2019.
Okay, wait.
We love you.
Just because he gave us a choir, I'm still not with it. But
you.
move on. Thou shall not. Wait, hold up. Thou shall follow back.
Hell yeah. Follow back.
All our followers out there, well, all the folks we are following, all right, we're trying to support you. Follow us back, or you about to be unfollowed.
On top of that, man, if you our friend, motherfucker, follow us. Man, I saw somebody in the grocery store. Nigga want to say hey to me. I ain't even say shit to him.
Oh my God.
All right, that's actually funny because you actually the first one where somebody was like, hey, aren't you that guy?
I was in the gym.
Yeah.
And I swear to the up high, man. You know what I'm saying? I was
God.
I was in the gym, about to put on my sweats, and the guy came up to me. He literally stood right in front of me. I'm bending down, and I look out like, first of all, your dick in my face, so I need you to back the fuck up.
That was a moment.
He gonna say something, hey, aren't you dear millennials? I'm like, well, yes, I am. Fuck you mean?
Speaking of dear millennials, shout out to the shirts.
Yeah.
Damn right, we got shirts.
Podcast.
Fuck
All
you
right,
mean?
let's keep it moving. Thou shalt not trust someone with multiple hair barbers or a hair confidant.
Hell no, I can't trust.
So y'all can't trust me because I got 2?
No.
Okay.
No, I knew I couldn't trust you when I first saw you.
Okay, I can't lie. I got to back up.
Thank
though.
you.
But
Thank
see,
you.
he's like a good friend though. I ain't gonna lie, but I hate it though because I had a really
You
bad
can't
experience.
have a barber. You can't have multiple barbers. I can't trust you because then now I feel like
I bet you
you're
Kanye
a
got to
little-
back up.
He
Thank
don't.
you.
He don't.
Even if it's just a line in the tape, you're not getting the fade. You using the razor. You don't get the part. It's just a line in the tape.
Man, I'm faithful to my barber. Faithful to my girl.
Lies. Oh, wow.
Faithful to
Come on, a
my
day every
son.
other night. So
Thank
let's
you.
keep it
Come on.
moving.
I don't even go.
Thou shalt not wear belt with suspenders.
Boy,
Belts with
That's for fellas.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's for real. Like I hate when
That's definitely a commandment.
real tacky.
Thou belt shall match thy shoe.
I agree with that. Yeah, you can't have a brown belt with black shoes.
Or what did Daniel
Does it
say?
really
I
matter?
better not see you with some cognac shoes and a black belt.
See, he more particular. He said Kanye.
It don't go right.
I think with women, sometimes there is a fashion statement with this mix, but for women, it's okay. Okay.
Thank you.
It's different for women.
Yeah.
There's like a fashion statement that we try to make. But moving on, thou wig shall be pinned down. Look, if you are securing your wig correctly,
God.
you shouldn't even have to use a pin.
Oh
Thank
boy.
you.
Put
Period.
that out there.
Thank
Put that
you.
out there.
Oh my
Thou shalt not have a cousin Faith. Okay, soul food reference friend. And if you do not know what I'm talking about, give me back your black card.
It's
okay,
revoked.
it's revoked.
Thank you.
Cousin Faith.
Everybody know what that is?
Don't
Yeah,
bring cousin
soul
Faith
food.
around.
Okay, for the people that don't, Soul Food, definitely the movie Soul Food. Who knows about? So did y'all see?
Yeah, I saw
Yes, we saw
yeah.
so.
Daniel, run it down for him.
So, the soul food reference was because, of course, the Kylie and Jordan situation. So, Cousin Faith slept with Terry's man.
Thank you.
Jordan slept with Chloe's man. Don't bring your man around your good girls. And we don't have to worry about your man getting took.
I
heard
should told you from the male perspective. Don't bring your girl around me.
Right.
True.
Mr.
Faith.
Still, nigga
So y'all the Cousin Faith.
Yeah.
Man,
Can we get a fact check for all 10 commandments, ladies and gentlemen?
Right.
And those are the facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you hear that, that's my boy Bryson Wilson. Anytime we giving facts of things you need to live by, you will hear that sound bite. All right, yo, moving on. It is time for quickies. Can I get a...
yeah. Damn.
Okay, you guys, for this week's quickies, of course, we are going to bring up Robert Kelly, also known as R&B singer R. Kelly. Yes, I
said
did.
Robert
I
Kelly.
gave Robert Kelly
Full
just
identity.
Full identity.
I mean, you
sure
know, when
did.
Robert, he was so nice when I'm just...
So, you know, this past weekend, he was placed in jail after receiving seven accounts of sexual misconduct, sexual abuse allegations, and possibly he will serve up to 70 years in prison. So he will possibly...
How long?
70 years, like they did Bill Cosby.
I think they could have gave him a little more.
Right. Thank you, because this has been an ongoing case for the last 14 years. It started in 1996. Of course, we all know when he went to McDonald's and he dropped his I Believe I Can Fly video. He was allegedly talking to underage young women, and it has manifested on since then. So what are you guys' take?
All right, I'm curious. So specifically with the young lady, first of all, let me just say I don't condone pedophilia. I believe that R. Kelly should be held responsible for his actions, and I don't think there's anything that negates that or excuses that behavior. But I would like to see those that knew about his dealings with these underage women. I feel like they should be held
they should be
just as responsible.
Especially his manager.
Yeah, I mean everybody around. I mean, because if you saw Surviving R. Kelly, right, there are stories that people were participating by bringing food to the young ladies, and things
or
like that.
Or the guy that was real life R. Kelly was like, I'm not gonna call him Sylvester. That's his middle name. Sylvester.
No, give that government name. Give it up.
He don't
give
even
it up.
deserve that.
Yeah.
He told somebody, hey, look, I need to go pick up these girls for me.
Yeah.
He told them that. His ass should be in jail too.
Yeah. Right.
And then what about the dude that falsified documents when him and Aaliyah got married?
Yeah, and he
was
admitted.
clearly
Oh yeah, that was Aaliyah's
15.
uncle.
Yeah, and yes.
From
Money.
the-
No, I don't think that
I
one.
thought-
the
I think
manager was the one
in-
that falsified
in
the document.
Documentary, I thought it was Aaliyah's uncle.
No, Aaliyah's
Nah.
uncle was the reason she was around him and he let her be around.
Yeah,
Just
Thank
like
that's I
Thank
can't think of
you.
his name.
Thank you.
And two, I think they should be held responsible because they were talking about, Robert wants to talk to you when they were like going to the McDonald's, which R. Kelly did go. I heard.
They put him in a playpen. Hey, little girl.
Ted want to
No.
talk to you.
No, he needs to be canceled.
Yeah.
So he.
R. Kelly. I watched the Boondocks episode by the way too. That shit was funny as fuck. I'm
It
sorry,
was-
OPP. Go ahead.
So he is receiving up to 70 years in jail. So he will be where
Wait,
he
how
belongs.
many?
70.
If he's found guilty.
If he's found.
Okay.
guilty.
Do we
But-
think he's gonna be found guilty?
Yes. Yes.
We're gonna see.
I got to see the tape.
Okay, what about Michael Jackson coming up though? Like surviving Nether.
I don't want to see it.
No.
Neverland.
I don't want to
But
see it.
if R. Kelly's about to serve this time,
Who gonna serve
No,
it?
but see,
I feel like we need to be able, like everybody needs to have a strong opinion, just like they did for R. Kelly.
Well, I think everybody had strong opinions about Michael when all of that was happening. But I mean,
I know
now
but
he's
still,
dead.
It's like
Yeah, I don't like
Same difference.
I don't like them attempting to continually, I guess, like diminish his legacy.
Right.
So that's what I don't like about it. And then these are people that have come on record and said, oh, this didn't really happen, blah, blah, blah. And I believe that the same quote unquote right victims or survivors are now the same ones that are supposed to be supposedly participating in this documentary or
Yeah, but you
I don't
also know with celebrities like R. Kelly and Michael Jackson, it's always a payout. So they may have received payment, and at the time reneged and felt okay. So my parents took this money or whatever the case may be.
That's what I'm
So
saying,
let
so
me
both
shut my
ways.
mouth.
I was just
Right,
about to
but I
say,
don't-
just like Michael Jackson had legacy, and I'm not condoning any of their actions at all, but R. Kelly also had a legacy, but I feel like as a community, we have to separate the music from the actions of the individual person.
I was
But
just
how
about to
can
say.
we?
Yeah.
How
Do you
can
think that the black community is part of the reason why he's been able to get away with that for so long?
It
Same with
is.
Michael.
Yeah.
Because we love them and we put them on such a high pedestal.
Well, two, I
We don't
think
know
we only receive what we're given. So there were music executives, there were higher powers that were like, man, this man is a very intricate part of our like money making, parent, whatever. And so there were people still allowing R. Kelly to make music. So I don't feel like it's as simple as like, oh, R. Kelly kept making music and we just listen. Somebody promoted it. Somebody was pushing it to radio stations. Somebody was allowing those videos to be on BET. Somebody, venues were still allowing him to perform. So I don't feel like the onus is on black people. I feel like the issue that people aren't addressing, and I heard Ayanna Van Zandt say, shout out to my, I don't know you yet, boo, but I'm gonna meet you, and I can't wait till I do, because you are my spiritual counselor. Like,
Hey,
you
R.
know,
Kelly.
I'm sorry, yeah, R. Kelly. So, but she spoke on
Trying
the
to make
fact
love.
that, like, the bottom line is that this is a very hurt person. This is somebody who has been abused himself.
Yeah.
So I think that, I mean, what I find more necessary than anything is for R. Kelly to receive
And that can
some
start a
help.
whole nother conversation.
Yeah,
itself
it is.
with
Yeah.
mental
It
health.
My bad, and I
Yeah.
carried that on.
Quickie turned into a what we call it when it's gone too long? Okay, go ahead.
Right. So
3 hours later.
exactly.
SpongeBob reference.
So we are just going to do a quick quickie and a shout out to Tony Harris for making Black history as the first female athlete to receive a full ride football scholarship to Central Methodist University. Shout out
Hey,
for
that's
making
what's
that
up.
Black history this
Come on.
month during Black History
my
Month.
cousin.
And that is all I have for you guys this week for the quickies. Thank you.
Thank you, O.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. So, quickie segment, just a quick rundown of trending news. All right, shout out to her. Moving forward, it is now time for Hood Code.
Hello there, everyone.
Hello.
It is your priest, McLovin, here to serve you the hood codes of the Bible. Grab your hood Bibles and turn with me to page 365.
I got my app, my Hood Bible
I
app.
got you. Hold on.
And it reads,
Pull it up real
if your homie dies, you have up to 24 hours to have RIP shirts made, distributed, and pictures taken and posted on social medias. Also, if your homie gets locked up, you have to post "Free my nigga," regardless of whatever charge that he did.
What?
Whoa,
No.
hold on.
DeMarcus.
Ladies and gentlemen,
No
McLovin.
McLovin. No
It is
McLovin.
live.
No.
McLovin.
No.
Wait, hold up.
No.
I have
serving
a-
you
No,
the
no,
hood
no.
Bible.
I have something to
I just have a
add.
quick question.
I have something to add really quickly though. Pictures, social media. What about the cars? Because you know people posted on the cars. You
And
didn't
the cars.
include it.
And the
Now,
cars.
And why
you gotta-
20?
You gotta have
Why
money for
24
that.
hours?
Yeah, you gotta.
You got until 24 hours to do all that, because after that, we're going to forget. We going to forget. But we
Really?
won't forget
Really?
if you got the shirt on. I'm telling you.
McLovin, can I add
In
one
the
more?
car.
Can I add one more?
Tired of
I don't
seeing
know if this is like true to Chicago, but whenever like somebody close to us passes,
You
we
gotta-
post, it's a hashtag and it says that person and then world. So for example, let's say I had a friend named I don't know,
Cleo.
Cleo. I'll put hashtag Cleo world. So it's kind of like in remembrance and
Yeah.
stuff. So you gotta have a hashtag too.
But you also got to have those bears that's strapped up to that light pole right there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
pink one is always my favorite. I always wonder, where did they get the pink one from?
It hurts me when I see the dingy bears up there. I'm like, come on.
Wait, they done been
Time
rained
back,
on,
yeah.
mud done been splattered
You
on.
ain't even,
Exactly.
you ain't even buy your friend a new bear. You
Yeah.
just got the bear from the house.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was your hood code by your very own McLovin. Y'all make sure you follow us on all social media handles. Thank you for tuning in to the Dear Millennials, the Lit Ass Podcast.
Fuck
Yes.
you mean.
Shout out to all the love we've been getting, yo. It's been mad surreal.
Yeah.
Also, while we been talking about love, shout out to my alma mater, Lamont College, for giving us all the love, all the shout outs.
Alumni.
Shout out.
My alma mater.
Alumni.
So I am an alumnus of the only historical black college in the city of Memphis, the Lemoyne College, fifth oldest black college in the country.
Thou shalt support
Well-
more HBCUs.
Speaking of HBCU, since you did that,
Lord.
shout out to Lane College in Jackson,
Shout
Tennessee.
out to
And let me
Albany
tell you,
State University.
hold on. I'm about to drop something on you. Gil, I'm gonna need a fact check. But hold on, shout out to Gil on the soundboard, y'all. Shout out to Gil. So I'm gonna need a fact check after this. Shout out to Lane College. If it had not been for Lane College, I believe Alex Haley, the director of Roots, was conceived on the campus of Lane College. Can we get a fact check for that, Gil?
Those are the facts.
Yes, sir. All right.
I mean, but wasn't he like dating, like,
since
the
1882.
president and the-
Anyway, Dage, Mary Jane, you wanted to shout out. See, he's trying to be messy,
He
and I had
is.
to ignore him. Don't be. Come on, man. It's
Wasn't
Black
it the
History
president
Month.
and the student?
Support all HBCUs,
Okay,
y'all.
Albany State University, shout out. Really quickly, we're gonna talk more about y'all later.
You know what? I hated to hear about Bennett College
Yeah.
not receiving their accreditation after like all the money they had raised.
Oh, we gonna come back to that.
yeah,
We're
we
gonna
can.
come back to that.
All right, y'all. All right, moving forward. So now it's time for Talks with the Love Doctors. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you need relationship advice, all right, I am the self-proclaimed love doctor.
Okay.
I'm a student to the game, currently studying psychology, so a lot of my study is focused and based on relationships, attraction, and things of that nature. So make sure you hit us up. All right, you can slide in any DM on our social media handles. You can also email at dearmillennialspodcast@gmail.com. All right, OPP. So who's our listener in need of some advice from the Love Doctor and the Dear Millennials crew?
Okay, so this DM that we received, this individual would like to remain anonymous. So I'm going to get straight into the letter. Dear Love Doctor, with your fine name.
Girl,
She got
did she really write that?
She said
Or
that.
is it a he? I don't know.
Either way,
Okay.
take the compliment.
Okay,
Take the compliment.
I'm gonna take it.
And the Dear Millennial crew.
I'm just assuming.
Thanks for taking out the time to read my letter. So I need help. I'm reaching out because I feel like niggas really ain't shit.
Ooh.
Amen. I need to know, is it me or are niggas really ain't shit? Let me explain. Over the years, I haven't really casually dated. Oops, excuse me, y'all, I'm sorry. I haven't really casually dated. I was in a very serious relationship with someone who I thought was my soulmate during my first 3 years of college. However, once my boyfriend at the time became Greek, things changed. Case one of niggas ain't being shit.
The letters.
Anyway, I had a man last year, but life goes on. So here I am in 2019, and no one can seem to get right. After my breakup in April of last year, I started dating again. Me and this guy who consistently pursued me while I was in a relationship started kicking it heavy. We would go to church together, go on nice walks get ice cream, Netflix and chill throughout this time. I was withholding from sex because of my soul ties. In a moments of weakness and too many margaritas, I
She must be drinking that Frida's.
Right,
He look at you every time.
Shameless plug.
Ever since we had sex, I feel like the communication has died and that he is no longer interested. Should I feel some type of way? I call him and now all of a sudden, he's always busy or unable to link. Love Doctor and Dear Millennials, please tell me what I did wrong, if I did anything wrong, and what should I do moving forward?
Y'all want me to go first?
Yeah.
All right, so
course,
I think
Love
we're going to make this real quick. All right, first of all, I want to say shout out to you. Thank you for reaching out to us. Thank you for the compliment. No one's ever called me fine before. All right, but yeah, so definitely to answer your question, I don't think that you should feel some type of way. I think at this point in your life, you need to learn how to play the game. All right, you were in a relationship, right, that didn't work out. So now it's time for you to discover who you are as a person, who you are outside of that relationship. All right, and I wouldn't say, you know what I'm saying, niggas not shit just because things changed. You know, he became Greek. That just kind of happens. He's not used to this certain attention. But, you know, I wouldn't dare tell you not to feel how you feel. Additionally, I think there's a part of you that kind of got what you wanted. You know, I'm curious to know, you know, how were you responding to, I guess, his pursuit of you while you were in a relationship? So I think that's really interesting that you picked up, you know, it seems like you may have possibly been using him in a way too, to kind of, you know, rebound off of that situation, or you know, find some type of comfort or company out of your relationship. I feel like it was a little, you know, if y'all broke up in April, then you started kicking it with this dude in the summer. That's kind of soon after a 3-year relationship.
It is. I feel
like kick it with somebody heavy. That's a lot.
it is, and I feel like she rushed things. That's why things kind of rolled downhill. Like shit rolled downhill quick because you just rushed into stuff and stuff wasn't all the way.
But can
clear.
you really, like, I don't know about this girl's situation, but can you really say that most people's situations have an intention of rushing into it? Because what you said, April, then we get to summer. That ain't rushing.
That's like a
Russian technically would have been May, although that's spring, summer. So it's not technically rushing. It could be falling in your lap and you are curious, you're interested, and it happened. And because you are vulnerable because of what happened, maybe you could have fallen for this person. Because that is still like not a good enough time after being in a three-year relationship. But I don't think that's rushing. I think that's she was trying to be open to somebody else that's possible.
First of all, let's be real.
Oh, Lord.
I think this is our being a duo thing.
So I need y'all to understand, motherfuckers ain't finna just wait around and mope around because a motherfucker just like dropped them. You know what I mean? Man, women, men are like buses. Women or men are like buses.
That's right.
Miss one,
Hop on
next 15, one coming. You know what I'm
15?
saying? 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You don't know about the bus ride? I understand Marta down in Atlanta might be a little off, but
Yeah.
same as Matter. We need to fix that, people of Memphis. But nah, man, we cannot get stuck in a situation.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I am a firm believer that you don't get into a serious relationship until like you're fully over that person. And sometimes it takes half of the year that it took that you was in a relationship for you to be over that person. So for example, this girl was in a 3-year relationship. Yeah. She shouldn't be real serious with this guy until a year and a half. Right.
But I feel like you can't control.
Oh, you can't help who you love.
At the beginning of dating, because I'm gonna be honest, like at the beginning of getting out of a serious relationship, it was hard for me to like balance dating. Yeah. But now I don't take nobody serious. Yeah. All right. You're gonna have to put in some work for me to take you serious because I know after 3 months I'm gonna start seeing some BS. Right. All right.
I'm gonna take my flowers back from you then.
But you know what? Too, I think also
I want my money back.
I think what she's kind of messed up about is that this guy was pursuing her and she actually like, kind of like considered going there. And so her question was, should I feel some type of way? Because now all of a sudden he's not as available. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
can I ask? Yeah. Oh wait, Daniel, Google. You go first. Okay. Sorry.
So I don't know if I remember hearing this in the letter. Did they communicate that they were going to be together?
In the letter.
Yeah, nah.
So that's my thing. I'm like, if that was never communicated, then no shade, but sis, then you really, in my opinion, should not feel some type of way. Because if it was not communicated that we were working on a relationship,
I was about to add, we had a living single segment on this last week.
I was just about to say
and
that.
I was about to add, like, in this world of dating, sis, sir, I'm sorry, guys are going to play their way. And you got to be just as hard as them.
You got to be a savage.
Like, you got to know that he either going to rock this way or he not. And you got to be prepared for it all. You are not in the wrong, but you also have to be aware that just because it started off this way does not mean that it's going to end that way. And that's just speaking true.
Thank you.
Correct.
So first of all, wait, stop. First of all, because now y'all sounding like hypocrites, because last week,
I already know where you going.
We was talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
And what same thing? I'm confused.
About how serious the relationship is. And y'all was like, oh, no. All I was talking about, like, communication is key. You need to make sure.
You need
to make sure that you all are both on the same page and this and that. Y'all was real life cutting my head. Y'all make sure y'all
I never said that it wasn't key. All I'm saying is just because it was like this in the beginning doesn't mean it's going to be like that in the end.
Y'all make sure y'all watch episode 2, Menace to Society, in order to know what we're talking about.
Millennials to Society.
What I say? What I say?
Oh,
well, y'all know we do spinoffs. You know what I'm saying? So Millennials to Society.
It's cut. Just to make sure they don't be looking for Menace to Society.
Well, I think we can all agree, and I'll tell you like this this philosopher from a corner store who had a 40 ounce in his hand told me.
That was the best one.
Don't chase her, young brother. Just replace her.
Hey, man.
So, with that being said, don't chase them, baby. Just replace them. Don't feel no type of way. Learn how to play the game, and you'll be all good. You didn't do anything wrong. All right, man. You can't control what people do. You can only control how you react.
Correct.
And let's be real. He just turned Greek, and boom.
Well, this was the boyfriend.
Right, the boyfriend just turned Greek. Perfect example. We was talking about the whole phase.
I
You
know
know what I'm
in a
saying?
relationship.
Yeah, I was like, was he a boyfriend?
So
Yeah,
or
when
the
she had a
dude.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's be real.
Before the dude that she
okay.
dated in the
Oh,
summer.
okay.
So
So she
I-
was coming out of that relationship.
Okay.
So also, you know what I'm saying? So the boyfriend became Greek and left her. That's part of the whole phase. You know what I'm saying? The glow up.
That
And
you
the
talked
glow
about
up.
episode
He got
one.
Episode
He
one.
did, he
You know what I
did.
mean?
Letters.
So got some
God
letters.
damn, you're good.
and then got some numbers. Fuck you, I mean, boy.
God. That was fucking awesome, bro.
Can I get
I'm
a fact
sorry.
check, please?
I'm sorry.
And those are the facts.
Boom. Mom, I'm sorry I cursed and dropped the F-bomb like that. All right, y'all. So that wraps up the Love Doctor segment. If you need seeking advice, want an unbiased opinion from the Love Doctor and the Dear Millennials crew, make sure you hit us up via any of our social media handles. All right, y'all. It's time to get into it. All right. Early in the show, we teased the show topic or the show title, which is entitled, all right, ladies and gentlemen, is there a thin line between gay and straight? All right. So is there a thin line between gay and straight? On this episode, we definitely want to talk about and question, right? Let's make it very clear. This is a question. Can men be bisexual?
Can I actually start us off with some survey information from our social media people who follows us?
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
There was a question posed on our Instagram account if can both men and women be bisexual? All right, so 67% of our Instagram followers said yes, and 33% said no. So, yeah, let's get into this discussion now after hearing from our followers.
Okay.
So first of all, I just want to bring up, man, it's crazy because a lot of people don't consider themselves bisexual, or particularly, a story that I'm about to bring up. They feel like, oh, I'm just curious. So there was a video of this guy, man, from Memphis. I think his name is Cavis McNeil. He was on camera sucking dick, just to be frank with you.
Wow.
And this guy is like apparently like this, I don't know, this thug dude or this real hood dude that's like, yeah, who.
Those normally are the ones.
And he was like, I ain't gay, I'm just, I was just curious. Mind you, this guy has a wife and a baby mama. And so he made a reply, and all I know in this video, he was like, and I'll do it again. I was like, wait, but that don't make me gay though. And then all I hear is his baby mama in the background like, yep. He was like, yeah, my baby mama know, and my wife, they both in the background. Sure do. I'm like, this motherfucker here.
They just some freak ass.
I was like, man.
Wow.
But he don't,
Yeah.
But
Okay.
in my opinion, I don't think men can be bisexual. Sorry.
So why is that?
So I say this why. So you gay. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. If you're a man, and maybe I'm being double standard, but if you're a man and you just can't go back to sucking dick and then eating pussy. I feel like then now you at what I call a identity crisis, where you feel like you had to put on this facade where it's like, oh yeah, I'm a homie from the hood, so I had to put on this jacket. But in actuality, I like guys, which is cool. Growing up from where I'm from, what I'm saying, you had a closet that, and I understand most people, millennials, come out during college phase. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they can be whoever they want to be when they're in college. But, growing up in the neighborhood and stuff like that, they had to be a certain way because they didn't want people to judge them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little.
Okay, cool.
So
cool.
we as men already in our DNA are sexual creatures.
Okay.
So
That's a good
Wow.
point.
it's just facts.
Yeah.
We are sexual creatures. So why is it that if a man happens to like both, we are sexual creatures. We are drawn by the flesh. That's where our motives come from. So why is it that a woman can be bisexual and she can like women and men, And men, by the way, normally think that's very attractive and it's very hot to them. But why is it it's a double? So why is there a double standard for a man?
Mind you, I just told you I was gonna be double standard. Right. But I'm gonna let Love Doctor.
Like I feel like this. In my honest opinion, I feel like men cannot be bisexual in America. So my opinion is definitely biased because the only perspective I have is that if I live as a black man in America. I say that men cannot be bisexual in America because, and I say that meaning that they can't be open with it. Okay. Right? There's a negative connotation associated with a man liking another man. For example, right, I work with kids a lot of the times, right, and oftentimes their way of responding to something that they don't agree with or they don't like is that, oh, that's gay. Mm-hmm. That's gay. That's the gay. And I try to challenge them like, yo, what does that even mean? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? And even I had to look at myself in the mirror. I recall doing that when I was younger. And I don't know where that comes from.
Toxic masculinity.
And I think you speak to something.
Toxic masculinity.
Thank you.
You know, so when I think about the backlash that is received to anybody that is discovered as like, quote unquote, down low or, was having a secret. Like, I don't think that America will accept a man, right, hypermasculinity, all these things, that is openly bisexual or open to exploring his sexuality. So it's not that, I think it goes without saying, like, yeah, if you're dating a man and a woman, if you're being intimate with a man and a woman, definitely that goes under the definition of bisexuality. Right. But I don't think that America accepts a man being bisexual.
And I want to challenge you, Marvin. A man being bisexual or a black man being bisexual?
Thank you.
I mean, I think...
You see what I'm saying?
Interesting.
Thank you.
Is it a man being bisexual or a black man being bisexual?
It's definitely, I feel like a black man.
If it's black man, if you want to get into that, because... Of course, I went to a PWI. It is greatly accepted in their community, whether you are bisexual or whatever it is. Others accept the fact that, their son, cousin, or whatever may be gay. But I feel like sometimes in the black community, it is shunned for African American men to come out of the closet because we have this stigma and feel that they should be able to lead and be head of the household, heterosexuals. You see what I'm saying? I feel like that's like toxic masculinity all the way.
So let me tell you why, and it's great, and I'm glad that you brought up the whole the predominantly white institutions. So at HBCUs, HBCUs, that's cool, but I think a lot of people, and Marvin used the word hyper masculinity. At HBCU, we tried our best to promote blackness. So we learn a lot of stuff that maybe a predominantly white institution don't know. So I look at it as, if we're going back to slave days, especially when it comes to homosexuality, the slave masters used to rape the most masculine men of the group in order to break down the family, I guess a word, I don't know if it's a real word, but I'm gonna use it today. Wow. And I'm gonna make sure Webster use it. Emasculate. They rape the slave masters rape the most powerful black men in front of their families to emasculate them. Yeah. And if we talk about slavery, we can go even further back into, the Greeks and the Romans and, and before that. So when I look at that, I try my best to put two together, So
can I chime in?
Yeah. You ought to ask permission. Daniel.
Okay.
You family.
But
Daniel,
don't.
I'm gonna chime in right after you because I have a personal story that I want to share now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned slavery. I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine. I'm a member of the AME Church.
Okay, cool.
So you say,
I think.
Oh, my grandpa.
Shout out to
my
Daniel.
papa is an AME pastor.
Like you
we related.
Like you super saved.
We related.
Yeah.
But one thing that I want us as Black people is to not say change with the times, saying that we have to change who we are and everything, but we have to realize we have gays, we have lesbians, we have bisexuals, trans, and we have to allow them to be themselves. So why is it that, like Lady O just said, the white community can accept so easily bisexuality? And something that I also want to mention is, so we're talking about Black males. So a good example that I always like to use for bisexuality is Jared from Insecure. Molly and Jared.
Yes.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Jared was openly bisexual and told Molly that. But Molly was like, had a very similar state like you, was very bothered by that because she was like, oh no, he's messed with a dude, he's gay automatically.
So let me before you finish. I don't want to say bother, because that doesn't bother me, because I'm definitely an ally to the LGBTQI plus community. So I just want.
Oh yeah, no.
He gave the real term, the real acronym. So that's how I know he.
I just want to put that in there before I get people hate mail in my.
Oh no.
my
There was
DM.
no way in shape or form trying to come towards you. No. But Molly rejected him just because of one incident. Now, yes, he's bisexual, but he had one incident with that man. One. But he still claimed himself as bisexual. And she threw him to the side, ghosted him completely. But then when she saw him later with a woman, granted, she still knew that he was bisexual. But because she saw him with a woman, it immediately brought all those feelings back to her, like, oh my gosh, maybe he was a good guy. Maybe. So is it just the fact that they mess off with dudes, or
I'm about to chime in now.
No, go, and I want to go after you.
I have a personal experience, and I'm actually about to cut off live because now y'all got to watch the show.
period?
Thank you.
You are awesome.
Yeah. So, let me save that. So actually, I had came into a situation where I have dated a man who was bisexual, but at the time that I was dating him, I didn't know that he was bisexual.
In Atlanta, right?
Okay.
No.
Why you gotta be in Atlanta?
So don't come for Atlanta.
I ain't gonna lie, that hit me late.
I actually,
No
I
shade to
take
Atlanta.
that
I didn't mean it
I
like that.
take that back. I'm
love you,
actually
baby.
not 100% sure that he was bisexual, but I know that he had been with other men because I had to ask him that. All right. Now, when you say about the Black community and our perception of masculinity, I kind of was confused. I didn't know how to take that for a man that I wanted to be with, because that's not how I was raised. You know, that was not my perception of the man that I want to be with. I have nothing against what you want to do with your life, but when it comes to my life, I have to make a decision. So I thought he was a great guy. Was a great guy. I felt he would have been the perfect boyfriend, even would have been a great husband, because that's what he was pursuing me for. But I had to ask him, like, have you been with men?
Right.
All right. Because I've seen signs. And
What
so
were the
because I
signs?
saw the signs,
Did they make you uncomfortable?
it kind of, okay, uncomfort could be the best word for the situation. Because I have never experienced anything like it. And I feel like in this generation, our kids are going to experience it.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Oh, baby, they're going to
They are.
experience.
And that was my first interaction. Like, man, we got
Yeah.
guys on his social media posts
Yeah.
talking about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This man must have experienced it in the past.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, he did. So for me, I honestly could not take it. He was a great guy. I would never take that from him. He was a great guy, but I wasn't in the mindset, the right position to accept both ends. Like, I honestly wasn't. And it was nothing against him, but I could not accept. I wasn't in the right mindset to handle both ends.
Can we acknowledge something too? I think too, and when I think of like the term download, I think too, a part of like the negative connotation or the frustration that comes with, not even frustration, but a part of the negative flag that, bisexual men can receive, it comes from deceit. So a lot of times you have, and let's not even, I don't even want to just say just bisexual men. I think in any relationship, when you have somebody who is being deceitful, because just as being deceitful in terms of your full sexuality, who you're sleeping with can be very toxic to a sexual relationship you have with one person, it can also be just as toxic, whether you're bisexual, you're straight, whatever. So I think a lot of times that's what's most frustrating or most disappointing.
Right.
It's just kind of like, because we can't ignore there are the spread of sexual transmitted diseases, infections are definitely and you know what, I don't even want to say that it's higher because I don't know for fact, but yeah, I think that's a part of the issue. But you definitely spoke on something. I remember you talking about it, sexual fluidity.
Yes.
Right.
Brush us up on this.
Yeah.
So, sexual fluidity, in short, refers to the idea that a person, attraction, and sexual identity, lesbian, gay, bisexual, heterosexual, can change over time. So, the idea that a sexual fluidity, especially with the generation that's after us, that the generation that's after us explains and kind of talks about, they are going through it, especially the generation that's after us, because of course, I deal with children that are in high school, and they most definitely talk about sexual fluidity. The young men go both ways.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that is definitely something that the younger generation is exploring and messing around with.
Yeah.
And that's just something to consider. Like, we're the millennials, but the generation that's after us, of course, they have access to everything nowadays.
Yes.
And they also, are experimenting more. They're exposed to more. They're doing more. So we just have to understand that we have to catch up with that.
So let me, my bad.
No, go ahead.
So
I'll
let me say, let's not say the generation now, because I did a research because I knew we were about to talk about the topic, and I realized that a lot of people, our generation and back, the first people that they encounter are people of the same gender. Mm-hmm. Game of Thrones reference. I'm not on episode 52. Mm-hmm. I'm on definitely season 3.
I'm on season 1, episode 1.
And on Game of Thrones, there was a part where the one of the kings was homosexual, and what it was, the lady was trying to explain to everyone, like, hey, look, this guy when he was younger just hung around a lot of guys, so he didn't really necessarily communicate with women, So, and she posed the question to the other king, was like, so you hung around all these guys and you never, when you was younger, try to do anything or this and that with and that's not just this generation. This is the millennial generation and the generation behind. Statistically speaking, they say that, those who hang around, and I look at it, and I'm an educator. So when I see my students who are real masculine, overly masculine, and feeling like they have to prove themselves, there are also the same people who are like, I'm gonna try this because this is my homeboy. Yeah. This is my homeboy,
and you have a comfortability.
And a comfortability, and I'm not used to talking to y'all. So these are the people that I see every day. A lot of people be like, I'm gonna die for my nigga. And I know people just seen a post where it's like, I care more about my relationship with my niggas than I care about my women. And that's real. And some of those come from, and I'm not talking about me, but some of those come from those homosexual acts, that bond that they make. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just this generation, although this generation is definitely more manipulated by radios and TV shows and this and that, which gives them or encourage them to be more themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because growing up as us, it was hard to see homosexuality. Now and if it was homosexuality, it was subliminal. It was never just out in the open.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now?
Yeah. Empire.
There's cartoons now.
Correct.
That are homosexual. It's a cartoon where there's two male parents raising a little boy.
Well, for me, because if you watch, our generation watch Mad TV, I always think of the character Stewie.
Yeah.
Stewie. Stewie. He used to act so feminine, and he was a little boy, and every time some pain was inflicted, he would kick his leg up, exactly. So
but that was more. Would you really call that homosexuality?
on the brink of it, you have to think about
He
it.
was more of a baby. But we can go both ways.
I got something else, but go ahead, Dan.
So for me speaking as a openly gay African American male, I myself was the person I had a girlfriend in middle school.
Wow.
I kept things from my parents.
Yeah.
I didn't come out to my parents till
College,
I was
probably.
right,
Yeah.
sophomore year of college.
Because
of how my parents raised me. We didn't take things out of the house. We kept everything in the house. We didn't talk about things that weren't, I guess, fitting of the image that my parents had for me. So when I came out my sophomore year, I was like, you know what? This is who I am. This is me. Yeah. And I don't think that had anything to do with me being influenced by toxic masculinity. That was just me being like, you know what? This is who I am. I gotta be who I am. If I'm not,
as you should.
Right. If I'm not, it's gonna kill me.
And you fake.
Right.
And I can't live a fake lifestyle.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, McLovin, you mentioned something, and it just made me think about it, and I have to phrase this in the right way. Now, I don't know. Now, Daniel and McLovin, like, I don't know the female perspective. But I personally feel like, right, my circle of friends, we were in competition when it came to sexuality. For example, who went through puberty first?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who had hairs first?
Oh my God.
Who had the wet dream first?
Yes,
So like,
Yes.
like it was like, hey bro, I got hairs on I got pubic hairs first.
Or who vote
like,
or who
On
voices
my
get
nuts.
beef.
You ain't
Yeah.
gonna say it, so I'm
We're
saying
not looking forward to
And
this.
so now that I think about it, that's crazy. Like reflecting on it, it's kind of like, though we're talking about can men be bisexual, a part of, and I'm speaking to what McLovin said about exploring that sexuality in the first part, your first confidants or the first people that you're confiding to are your friends, your circle of friends. So it made me think about that. And I just think that's really interesting because looking back on it now, I don't know if I would be comfortable. Me and McLovin were mad cool. Me and Daniel were cool. I don't know if I would be comfortable talking about, like my sex, like, like my puberty and shit like that. Anyway, and another thing, I know you mentioned, McLovin, about like this generation or just now, and not even this generation, but today there being a lot more openness to sexuality. I felt like the conversation started with millennials. Now, okay, I'm taking a chance here. Okay, no, let me speak. I think the conversation with specifically millennials started with SpongeBob.
Yes.
No.
SpongeBob, you had this grown ass man who was a cashier, who was a fry cook, who in the episode, I'll never forget, him and Patrick were husband and wife. Like, SpongeBob came out of the pineapple house with rollers, bro. And that's when everybody stopped watching SpongeBob.
Stop.
Yes.
Let me.
That is when I feel like the conversation started, and we started seeing in terms of what we were watching on television, where there was an acceptance to like kind of that open, because we saw SpongeBob Day. Like SpongeBob was trying to get us some hoes, you know what I'm saying? But him and Patrick's relationship was interesting.
Exactly.
Thank
you.
And he was damn near stalking Squidward, goddamn it, if you look at it. Anyway. But
Okay. Thank you.
First of all,
I'm sorry, that was a little passionate.
So and we can go further than that. I'm reaching.
Don't reach, Doc.
This is a real
Let
space.
me
Reach, Doc.
Niggas didn't think girls was good back in the day when we was younger. What I mean by that,
What?
He-Man Woman Hater Club.
Oh my goodness.
Little Rascals.
And as much as woke as I am,
Wow.
and I don't like that movie because of my wokeness, my consciousness. But we didn't think girls was cute or good. You know what I'm saying? We was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we used to get mad when that part was like, ooh, Marvin loves Mary Jane.
Yeah.
We
Like,
be like,
you
no,
got the
man, no. Those was
That's
things.
real. Wow.
We did not start liking women till we got older and was more exposed to society.
Right.
And realized that, hey, look, as a man, this is what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know,
or at least that's what society.
Right.
Like what society
So
tells
let
us.
me fix myself because I try my best to be culture competent.
And we got 4
definitely
minutes, y'all.
Have
just so
a
you know.
circle, you know, of people that I consider as my friend who are not heterosexuals. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is like we grew up thinking, you know, girls was icky. Then as our eyes were opened more, we was like, oh, I'm supposed to like women. So then now could be, and also growing up as millennials, you know, homosexuality was subliminal.
Right.
So we thought that it was wrong.
Right.
And now in this day and age, homosexuality is a thing, and if not direct, is more like a trend.
I was just about to say like a fad.
I sent y'all a text. Like a message of this guy with the heels on. You know, some rapper dude. You know, I wish I remember his name, but nigga had on heels.
And, I wouldn't say it's a trend, but sexual fluidity.
Yeah.
If people experiencing and doing things outside of the cultural norm is a trend.
It's historical, believe it or not. The mob used to kiss the Godfather on the lips. Baby
man kiss Lil Wayne kiss Birdman. Y'all remember that?
Right. These are historical things, and call me woke. Call me conscious. This is conscious McLovin. You know what I'm saying? Understand that I ain't gonna say it. We got 3 minutes anyway.
I was gonna say,
What you about to say?
We got 10
before
minutes.
Marvin closes us out with our open letter,
Right.
I do want to name that a lot of our followers believe that we need to be more open with
Absolutely.
the sexuality of this generation. One comment mentioned that we are in an evolving society where gender is becoming more fluid.
Who said that?
I can't tell you who said it. It's
anonymous.
We got people that
Also-
consider themselves non-binary.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you
This is
cannot.
right.
Also, you cannot disagree or agree because you can be what you want. But some people are not into bisexual men, and also it really just comes into play of accepting people for who they are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, and I'm gonna let Marvin close the.
Damn, I hate.
Marvin.
I guess
Y'all,
it's a good
so okay,
vibe.
let's do a quick whip around. All right, so let's answer the question: can men be bisexual?
Can both men and women?
Well, okay. That's fine.
Well,
I think there's a difference and there's a bias in between. I think one is okay for the. Well, we can go with men and women. All right, can men and women be bisexual? We'll start with Daniel. What you think?
Yes.
I'm biased. I think women can be bisexual, and men can't. Wait on my threesome, but yeah, men can't.
I think women can be bisexual. I too agree that men cannot be openly bisexual.
I cannot date a bisexual man, but I also agree that people are who they are.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say yes. Men can be bisexual because of everything that's evolving and going on in the world. And of course, as we evolve and our children evolve, they will experiment. The things that we touched on. So with sexual fluidity coming around and having a definition for it. So yeah, I think so.
Well, y'all, this was Dear Millennials, a lit ass podcast. Let me clarify. I meant I feel like America will not accept an openly bisexual. Anyway, all right. So Dear Millennials, a lit ass podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to close out with our Dear Millennial open letter. Shout out to Miss Mary Jane. What's going on, man? Leave us with something.
Dear Millennials, let me remind you that it's always someone in your corner praying for your downfall, all right? It kind of trips me out how we live this life not being careful with who we let in and too cautious of who we let out. Or actually, for a lot of us, holding up a wall, blocking the good ones, even opportunities from giving us what we most deserve. In fact, life is so tricky at times that you just have to wing it and take every hit as a lesson learned. This includes friendship, ain't shit N-words, career choices, life mistakes. All of it is just a ride. But the beauty of it all, nobody has the same exact story as you. Just want to wish you all love, peace, and a lit-ass week.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are the Dear Millennials Lit Ass Podcast. Make sure you follow us at all our social media handles. You can find them on the page. I am Marvin Frank, homie, lover, friend. Damn, I messed that up. Let me do that one more time. I am Marvin Frank. I got to do this in order every time. Singer, songwriter, educator, student to the game, homie, lover, friend, mama, I love you, daddy, I love you. Chi-Town, stand up. You already know what it is.
Yeah, man, it's your boy. South Memphis, stand up. You know, I ain't gonna say all that shit. Y'all already know, man. Hood ass motherfucker. Have a lit ass week. I love y'all. McLovin_IT on IG.
Yeah.
All right, I'm Mary Jane, Georgia raised, Memphis paid. Book club creator, the woman storyteller, and your favorite around the way girl. Follow me on the.realmaryjane.
And this is your girl, OPP, your one and only Memphis finest. Mom and Dad, shout out to you. I will be joining you in Africa. Wakanda
Oh, yeah. Well, OPP going to Wakanda.
Forever.
And y'all, we just want to give a round of applause for our special guest, Daniel Thompson. Yeah, make sure you check out his podcast. What's the name of it?
I'm just saying that is I am just Just Sayin SAYN with an apostrophe after.
Fuck you mean.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a lit ass week.
Fuck you mean, boy.
The preceding is an OM production. For more information, go to theoamnetwork.com.